was heading out on the lake to look for big suspended winter crappie, but it turned out the waves and the wind were just too bad. My electronics were popping out of the water. I couldn't even stay out there, so I started idling around, eating some pork rinds, looking at the side scan, going across the old river channels, and I noticed the wad. That's right, the river channels can mean good wintertime fishing, and I came across this bridge that was absolutely loaded with fish. I wasn't exactly sure what was down there. I thought at first maybe it's a lot of gizzard shad, but when I dropped my bait down there, I noticed thousands and thousands of crappie and white bass and drum and catfish, but mostly crappie that are down there, and they need to be caught. So join me out on the lake today, fishing freaks, as we try to figure out these tricky crappie by the thousands. Brr, y'all, it is chilly. This is concentrating these fish. So just came over a little stack of them underneath this one bridge. We got two bridges, and we're gonna drop a lure on this first one and see what happens. Hey, how you doing? Come on in. You're not bothering me.
Oh, sorry.
No worries. There's plenty to go around. There we go. Oh. First crop of the day. Dead stick. They like that chartreuse and black. I think that's going to be a key. God, there's so many fish down here. Wow. The train is literally scaring these fish. Not moving it at all. Woo. I need to check him. Oh yeah. All right, let's see if we can get another one. That's a good one. Well, bam. So when I first got on this group of fish, I thought I am going to load the boat quickly, but I quickly found out that that wasn't going to be the case. And I started out with a chartreuse and black. I was getting some bites, but I wanted to see if there was anything else, a technique, a different bait, a different color. So I experimented with about 4 or 5 different colors, some different techniques. I tried a double rig, I tried some hand tied, and then I eventually went back to that black and chartreuse or toxic waste color in that dangle dart, and that was the key. That isn't working the best, no doubt. I literally couldn't get bit on anything else. Not even a question. As soon as I switched. Oh, little spud. The other thing that I figured out was the movement of the bait. You know, after an hour or so, I realized I cannot be moving this bait and get bites. They'll follow it, but most of the time when they hit it, it's dead still. So take note of my rod tip. I'm keeping my rod tip low to the water. That way when I get a bite, I can lift up and set the hook easily. But it's not moving. If I do move it, it's only coming up about 6 inches or a foot. And I'm barely shaking it if I ever do. My biggest mistake when I first got into crappie fishing was moving the bait too much. And what I found is that less movement usually equals more fish, but especially in the wintertime.
The old milk sack. All right, without a doubt, the best color. This is rare, but the color is making the difference. Chartreuse and black. I'm getting so many more bites. Not even like it is getting the bites. Not even close. It was 2 in a row. Just like thousands of fish. How do you get them to react? With bait around. God, they're going in. They're going in right now to feed on their shad. Come on, baby. Get activated. Mm-hmm. God, you thumped it. Thump it. That's a nice one. Oh, yeah. Come here, baby. Mm. Well, bam.
This was a fun opportunity to see so many fish in one area, and I really focused on this bridge because crappie love structure. They love bridges, but what I began to notice is that there's other fish interacting with these crappie, like white bass, catfish, there's some largemouth, and they're coming in and out of this bridge area, but that's not the only juice. There are pods of fish in the hundreds that are moving around, and they're following these shad, and they'll stick around under the bridge for a little while, and then they'll move out, and then they'll come back in. But essentially they're following a creek channel, and they're going to do this for weeks and weeks until the water warms up and they can start getting into the pockets, but they really are going to follow around those shad. So it was a cool opportunity to be able to sit on top of these fish, watch the crappie, and watch these other species interact with the shad and watch them move in and out from under this bridge, and of course intercept them along the way.
Yes. There we go. That's the one I want. Yeah, buddy. Mm-hmm. Oh, get in here. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. They're gobbling right now. Gobbling. All right, we're going to try the double rig. The way they're hitting right here. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, he swallowed the top one. Drop shot. Little buddy. Little buddy. Crappie food. Oof. Okay, y'all, so I'm out in front of this bridge, and it's not a matter of where are the crappie. They are everywhere, and they're kind of moving around. Some are in 30 foot, some are in 20 foot. They'll come in, they'll come out. Some are sticking put, some are on the pilings. They are literally everywhere. There are thousands of them. So it's not about finding the fish. You know, this is like a common spot in the winter. What happens is you've got all of that cold water. Water was in the 40s right now, low 40s, high 30s. And these fish are trying to find a warm spot. It's really more the shad. The shad are so sensitive. They're trying to find a place where they won't die. And we are actively watching shad move into these predator fish It's not just crappie. It's white bass, it's largemouth, it's catfish, and they're getting eaten. They're getting scattered out. But these fish, they're fat and happy. They're lazy, and they are hard to get to bite. So it's a matter of what can I do to get the fish to bite. And I've been experimenting with a ton of different baits. I've gone back and forth between hand-tied jigs, with plastics, a bunch of colors, and without a doubt, the main thing, I mean, if I had a bucket of live minnows, obviously that would be the deal. But without a doubt, the main thing that is working is this chartreuse and black. It's kind of rare that the color is this important, but it is. That is by far getting the most bites. This profile is getting the most bites. I've tried a bunch of different bait profiles. Typically this one does work the best in cold water. This is the Dangle Dart, and I'm using an 1/8 ounce head, and there's just tons of bite marks on this thing. It's been torn up, a black head. But these fish are very tricky, even with live scope. You gotta let it either sit still or do a slow rise, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. That slow rise technique will usually get them interested. But as you can see, there's a lot of fish that follow it and then they don't end up eating it. And if you see them following up, it's easy to get excited and start like jerking the bait, shaking it to get them to try to eat it. And a lot of times what I've seen with crappies, they won't. But if you pull it up and you just stop it or continue to just slow pull, usually they'll give it a shot. And I've had a lot of short strikes. They're just hard to get to bite, but thousands of crappie underneath this bridge. There's a thump, a crappie thump. Ooh, these are deep. 30 footers. That one's a borderliner. Throw him back. I'm sure he'd be tasty though. Not gonna deny the taste. By far the most consistent technique, not moving it. One's on it right now. There he is. Just not moving it. A very slight rise to it. Oh, hello. That's Cooler McGee. Just got on the line. We're dangle whopping a mess of them today, boys. We're not going after giants, we're going after eaters. Crappie cake material. That's what we're going after. Ooh, baby. I feel like these little deeper ones might be a little more aggressive. They just haven't been messed with as much as the ones on the bridge. So we've got lots of them looking at it. That helps too when you got a lot of them start to, come look at it. That will get that competitive spirit engaged. That's what you want. 6-inch lifts, guys. Like tiny, tiny lifts. He doesn't feel big. Probably would keep though. We're not doing jerks. This is not a bass fishing jerk. Oh, we got a riser. Ooh, another one coming. That's a nice one. I would take him. Turned it down. It's always the biggest ones that turn it down. Dead stick. Oh God, just missed one. Leaving it like 6 inches above their head, and then that like 6 inch to a foot rise with the rod tip, and you can keep doing that over and over. Like I just dropped it back down the exact same depth and did the exact same thing. They're kind of curious like cats, but they could be cantankerous like cats too. And usually what I'll see in a school like that is like the biggest ones are on top. They're ready to rock. We got a water drop here. Water drop. That's always a problem. Okay. I got to my rod just in time to watch it get to the fish. Slow riser, there we go, baby. You activated the nursery here. Actually, that one's a keeper. All right, a little change of angle for you guys to sort of see on this spot. You see how those bigger ones are kind of up top, and then you got all these. There's some over here, they're kind of sitting still, and then there's some on the break. On this particular area, the best bites, or the most consistent bites, been on the break. Dropping down, incoming. That big school, you would expect it to get annihilated, and I had two of the bigger ones come out and look at it, and then not eat. Maybe they'll eat this time. That's a good one, looking at it. Just not eating. And then you can see these shad that are over here, and they better not get too close or they're gonna get annihilated. So I'm not getting bit on top of this pile here. I've got some interested parties, but just not getting bit. So I'm gonna drop this down. I'm gonna drop it down to about 25 foot, and there's already one coming to look at it. I'm not moving the tip. I'm just gonna do a slow rise of it. Oh, I kind of spooked him there with the trolling motor. Even 25 foot down. You see, when I raise that rod, it gets one interested. It's like a laser pointer with cats. There we go. Slow rise worked on that one. They'll at least look at it. They may not eat it, but they'll at least come look at it if it's a slow rise. If you pop it up, like give it a jerk, ain't gonna happen. He's a little small. He'll keep, but at this point, the cooler is pretty full, so deep winter tactics. Now, the advantage of having the forward facing is I know when I need to raise it. You know, I know exactly when I need to raise it. But if you just found these fish on 2D and drop down, you could literally just let your lure sit there until it gets eaten, or integrate those rises. But my gosh, having forward in this situation is it's just nasty. Come on, that one should eat. Got competing. Good one too, good one. He's coming. You won't do it. You won't do it. Oh, God. You know, I'm still in my crappie studies, trying to get the degree here, but it seems like wintertime. Oh God, I just had a good one lick it. Wintertime, you just can't move it out of their zone very much. Like, they'll follow it. It's like summertime, you can really raise it and they'll rush up and grab it. But wintertime, they just need a slow, and they're not going to come grab it if it's too far out of the rest of the school. It's got to be in the school zone. That time, I gave that crappie a little shake. And when I say shake, I mean, shake's not even a good word for it. A shimmer would be a better term. Right now, those shad are just above their eating distance. Ooh, come on. Slow rise. 3 of them on it. Oh, that's actually surprising. That did not happen right there. Ooh. If it was like post-spawn, we could just pitch out to him, swing in, and we'd be getting stroked. But these fish do not want the swing. They do not want lateral movement, only slight vertical movement. Think of it as like ice fishing. You're in a hole. All right, I'm just gonna set it right above the main school. Golly, that felt freaking good. Man, that was a good thump. Ooh, golly. Oh, just that slow pull up and shimmy on that one. Oh, he ate it. It's just not the same one. Not the same one, man. Daggum. You sucked it down like a cherry plum. God, that one feels nice. Oh, because it's a white bass. Yep, they're down there too. One of the many predatory fish. Not keeping those today. And when crappie get interested, they turn their nose up, which sounds kind of counterintuitive given the phrase, but when they turn their nose up, that is when they are interested in your bait, and they are most likely going to give it a lick if you got the right bait on. Gosh, I dropped it down into the herd. That's got to be another white bass. Yeah, it's tugging like a white bass. Oh my gosh, big crop, big crop. Big crop on the drop, man. Dadgum. Dadgum. Boy, you looking like a 2-pounder, son. Come on in here and see Daddy. Yeah. Well, I was not expecting you. I was not expecting you, but there she is. There's a nice 15-incher. Woo, son. A beautiful specimen to behold. Today she's going home with me. Or he. Wabam. Oh yeah. Well, bam. Well, bam, that was too easy. I have to do 2 more. Gotcha. Fired up. Entering the zone. The wad. Oh my. Yep. Oh, you came off. Oh. You like the slow rise thump. Jeez. I'm getting follows every time I raise my bait. It's just a matter of getting one to eat. There we go. Oh my God, felt nice crappie thump. There's so many of them that at times when I raise my bait, I can feel the lure bumping the fish. Oh yeah, baby. Let's go. I like when they eat it like that. Ooh, yes sir. I like you a lot. I like you a lot. You look like an 11. 10 and a half. You're going in a crappie cake. Oh man, the anticipation when you see a bunch of crappie and you're like, golly, I can't wait to put you in my mouth. And they're just, you just know they're down there. It's just getting them to bite. That is the thing. Usually it's the opposite. It's like, where are they? And then once you find them, it's game on. But this scenario, there ain't no trying to find them. They're everywhere. Closer to the bottom. They just want to play ball a little bit more. Just a little bit more ball. Whew, how many is that? Got the old top eater that time. Yeah, buddy. Well, bam. Shoo. There we go. Yes, sir. One last good one. Well, bam, boys. Almost broke my rod there. I'm gonna end on that one. Been out here a few hours, caught a mess of them, and I can't believe how many fish are down there. I mean, honestly, this is one of the biggest schools of crappie that I've ever encountered. Oh my gosh, a bird just scooped up a little crappie. There's so many fish down here, and they're all along this channel. They're not even directly on this bridge, I've noticed now, but man, I can't wait to chase some big floaters in the spring, but this is a nice winter warm-up. Look at that baby. Got lots of meat for the cooler. You know what we got to do? Take them home, put them in the fish cakes. Frosty morning here at the new house, y'all. Ended the day on a good note. We're about to break open the live well, put these fish on the stringer. I can't remember the last time that I've just been able to leave fish or meat out in Texas. Like, oh, it's gonna be in the 20s tonight. So it's just one of those rare winter time circumstances. It rarely gets this cold here where it just had the fish stacked up, and I couldn't get tired of looking at how many fish were on the screen. It was just a matter of getting them to bite, which was difficult. And you guys already know what I was catching them on, but if you guys want to pick some of those dangle darts up in those colors, we have them in stock at GOOGANsquad.com. Shop around on some other things as well. You can use my promo code LFG, save that 10% at checkout. Don't forget to use that code, but the link is down in the description. Now, let's open the well.
Look at that, boys. Look at the icicles that are in here. Gooey, sludgy, crappie goo icicles. Oh man, that's a good one.
I can't actually empty the well right now because the thing is frozen. The switch is frozen. When I just catch a mess, sometimes I find it's good for the soul to put them on a stringer. It just takes me back to the good old days. You guys ever see those old school pictures of BASS tournaments back before catch and release? Pretty amazing. You're still alive. You're like frozen. I could go throw you in my pond right now. Actually, I couldn't even throw you in the pond because it's frozen on top. You just land, you'd hit the deck. 7, 8 on that one. 11. So we had 19 crappie. I take pictures on stringers because one day in my shop, one day, I want to have some old, like, take photos like these, have them done in black and white, so they just look like fish killer city, man. Some dandies in there, some nice decent eaters, and then, you know, just some standard unit, 10.5, 11 inchers. But what a fun day, guys. What a fun day. I am actually gonna clean these right now, and if you stay tuned for the next vlog, we're gonna be making OSG's fish cakes. They're amazing. So thank you guys for hanging with me today in the great outdoors. Hopefully you learned something about winter crappie fishing, and I'll see you on the next one.